welcome to Trading in Zones. So today we will do a quick weekly review session of the previous week which we discussed. We looked at a lot of stocks and we saw that some were good to accumulate, some were good to short on a weekly basis, and some were good to buy. So let's quickly look at what we saw on our weekly review 2 edition and how the stocks performed through the week. So the first set of stocks which we saw were predominantly to accumulate, not technically for a weekly trade or a swing trade, but these stocks were technically more from an investment perspective. So let's see how they looked at. So the first one which we saw was NIT. So obviously NIT is in kind of a consolidation mode. So NIT Tech is the stock which we looked at. Currently holding and kind of sideways. The market also went down and then moved up, so it's been fluctuating. So at this point in time, the best thing to do is wait for the lows and accumulate as and when you see a new low which is going to happen on these stocks. Pidilite again was another stock which we looked at from an investment perspective, and this stock again has gone sideways. So a great stock, but however the suggestion would be accumulate on dips for now. It's moved down and it's consolidating through the week, but there might be some up moves or down moves in the coming week as well, given that this is an election time and market is swinging quite a bit of points between 11,800 to 11,600 approximately. In that range there has been quite a few swings which have been happening. Apart from this, the other stock which we looked at was PVR. PVR again, continued to add. It slightly moved down, but the move down is not very significant. But every move down is definitely an opportunity to add. Add in small quantities, but continue to keep adding PVR because they are doing pretty well and probably more to come in future. Other stocks which we looked at were stocks like Rail Vikas Nigam, Infibeam, SAIL, Star. These were the stocks which we looked at. So Rail Vikas Nigam currently at around 23. It's moved down. Not really sure at what level this might hold at this point in time. Add in small quantities, maybe a good stock for the future. Again, as I told last week, it moved significantly up because RJ Rakesh Jhunjhunwala was buying the stock. There was a lot of news in the market, so people probably bought a lot. It's moved up, but market moving up has not given any positive momentum for this stock, at least last week, and it's kind of continued to move down. Infibeam moved down again at around 44. Need to see if it's going to hold around 40 levels. If at all it does, then there could be a possibility of an up move. Similarly, SAIL, it is holding 54 at this point in time. I would probably believe that it's a good accumulation point as it goes down, and maybe around 70 to 80 would be an appropriate price to get out. So anywhere in between might also give a good swing opportunity or a short-time investment opportunity from a SAIL perspective. Star, I was expecting it to cross 500 odd, but it didn't. It came down. It's holding 460 very strongly. Maybe around 500 above might be a good breakout buy if someone is buying on a breakout, but if someone wants to accumulate the stock at this present point, can accumulate and probably keep a stop loss at around 450, accumulate at the lows and hope it's not gonna break 450 and it's gonna continue moving up from there. And what else did we look at? We looked at TVS Motor. TVS Motor was something which we were expecting, given that it's moved up, there might be a good opportunity. And we saw quite a bit of sell-off which happened in the auto sector. I was expecting Tata Motors to probably move up as well, but quite a few stocks have kind of hit a resistance, including Tata Motors and Maruti. Most of the auto sector, especially auto sector on Friday, saw a huge sell-off. It might be something which we can expect. Either it might continue moving down or might reverse. We might have to wait and watch how the week ahead looks like. But at this point in time, TVS Motor was looking negative, but again a good stock to accumulate, might be a better result. We have not seen great results in the auto sector so far. Hero Moto results were not that great, which was rolled out last week. So I'm hoping good results for TVS Motor and Bajaj. So these two stocks are pretty close on my radar, including Maruti. Waiting for an appropriate level to buy. Alright, so at this point in time, not really looking at putting the money in auto, because quite a few stocks have significantly moved over the last couple of weeks. But the last week, it's kind of moved sideways, and Friday has seen a sharp dip. It could be profit booking as well for people who have bought it on a longer time frame. But it's a good watch. Continue to watch. If there are reversal price action confirmations, it might become a good swing buy again. And then coming to stocks which we saw on a technical side in terms of selling and buying, we saw quite a few stocks which we wanted to short. So Yes Bank, IBUL, Relcap, and Jetair and WIPRO were these stocks which I had personally picked to short in the current week. I was expecting Yes Bank to hit around 230, and obviously it came down right to 230. Around 230, 231 was the low. I remember seeing it, but it's bounced back pretty well from that level. So 230 seems to be a support. Not great results, but it might be something which is worth continuing to watch. If it's kind of consolidating between 200, 300, and if it holds those levels, might be a stock in future which might continue to move up and cross a level of 300, but we might have to look at a very long horizon, not really a short term. But from a sell call of the weekly review which we looked at, and a weekly stock which we shortlisted for a sell, it gave a fantastic result for us, and it went and hit our target. IBUL was the next stock. I was expecting a 750, but it made a low very close to 720, 730 levels, which is extraordinary fall. So I'm really not sure how much further it's going to move down. But at this point in time, from a short perspective, we looked at the stock for the week, and it gave a brilliant result right on the first day on Monday itself, and further moved down on the second day. So if someone took a position, Monday opening gave a brilliant result, and it was a good stock to pick. Relcap was one more short which was on my radar. I gave a short below 160, 150 levels for a target close to around 120, 130. It went into that range between 130 to 120. Around 125, if I'm not wrong, was the low it made. And it bounced back up to 160, and it's seeing a down again. So we need to see if it's going to hold 140, maybe one more opportunity. Else, I would probably avoid trading on Relcap. Jet Airways was one more stock. Obviously, we knew the news and we expected it to fall. It made a significant low. 217 to 127 was the move. Yeah, many wouldn't have been able to catch it because it opened gap down. It was circuit locked on Monday. But if you had continued shorting and continued holding the stock based on the weekly input which we had provided, you would have got a significant amount of profit. Though it made around 80, 90 rupees low, one could have easily caught about 50 to 60 rupees if you had followed your instinct of continuing to short Jet Air. WIPRO was something which went against our expectation. We were expecting it to move down given the last Thursday, Friday profit booking which we saw. But however, it's hit a new high of 295. Predominantly, the buyback news is carrying the stock forward. The buyback is further upside. Not really sure if it's going to continue moving, but I'm sure at a point in time a correction will be seen. But at this point in time, this was one of the sell calls which did not perform well. All right, and technical picks on the buy side, we looked at UPL, gave a fair move, 930 to around 970. I could see around 40 rupees movement in UPL. Not a significant movement on the buy side because predominantly the market was fluctuating and many stocks have got corrected which were bullish. So some of the technicals have not really worked well, but yeah, some movements were there here and there. Century Text was one more. Opened at around 933 on Monday, made a high of around 962, but again came down, closed at around 920 on Friday, profit booking. But Friday market significantly moved up, but some of these stocks didn't move up. So I would assume that Century Text didn't go as expected, but it gave a fair chance to trail our stop losses or book a decent amount of profit, maybe about 1 to 2%, might not be significant, but a decent profit. IGL was one more stock which I expected to move up, but it opened at around 323 and started moving down, closed the week at around 310. Again, a stock which failed, right? Not everything what we pick can move the way we expect it to, but at times some of them do and some of them don't. IGL was one of the stocks which didn't. Jindal Steel was one more stock which I expected to move from where it kind of started or ended the week previous, but the last week it kind of went into at around 175 from at around 180, 182 kind of level. So technically a bearish stock at this point in time. Friday showed a significant recovery. We need to wait and watch if it was just a short covering, and will the metal starts bleeding on Monday again, or if it sees any fresh buying. Some of the other stocks which was good to watch was obviously Gillette and Escort. Gillette is going kind of flat and Escort kind of nosedived. Again, Escort and TVS and Tata Motors, all these stocks which were expected to kind of move up have moved down because of significant selling which was seen on Friday. IPO, we spoke about Polycab, Rail Vikas. Obviously, Rail Vikas did well the previous week, but the last week it's not given a great result. Neogen Chem, not really keen, but it's just there. So some of these stocks is what we looked at last week. So I could see about 70 to 80%. It's given a good move as we expected them to move. Especially the short side stocks worked really well. So we'll continue to do this series and make continuous review of the previous weeks as well, so that we know how good we are from a perspective of the stock reviews, what we are doing, the news, what we are looking at. So look forward to one more video which will be rolled out tomorrow. We will look at the week coming. Probably tomorrow or day after, given that Monday is a holiday for trading, given that there are general elections which are happening in Mumbai. Would request everyone in and around Maharashtra to go and vote, exercise your right to vote. And I would end the video for this week. I hope this is adding value and helping you pick the right stocks. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend.